Welcome to the Battle Ready Sermon Podcast with Captain Rob Westwood-Payne.
I wonder if you think Maidenhead is a happy town. Is Maidenhead a happy town? Or if you don't live in Maidenhead, think about your town. If you're joining us in online, think about where you are, your city, your town, your village. Is it a happy place? How do you know? Well, the website Rightmove, which my wife Gail spends an inordinate amount of time on, bearing in mind we just get moved from house to house by the Salvation Army, ranks 10 different things that say whether a city or a town or a village are happy or not, the 10 happiness factors. They include things like the friendliness of neighbours, the quality of the local amenities, whether there's a sense of belonging or not, and the quality of nature, amongst a few other things. Now, Gail and I have been in Maidenhead now for just over 2 years, and we live in a really neighbourly place. Our close is neighbourly. The place where we live is neighbourly. We have a WhatsApp group and we swap messages and everybody's on there telling us that they've got things that people might want, asking for help with different things, asking for help with, who does plumbing and who does clearing the gutters and all that sort of thing. They don't tell anybody, but they also tell us when the police are aware with the radar on Cannon Lane so that we don't get caught by them, all sorts of different things. And the place where we live is in Cox Green in Maidenhead, and that's on the edge of some lovely countryside, and there's and the area around the hall here is also lovely. We have the park that we would have been in earlier today if it had not been for the weather forecast, and we have lots of lovely places in Maidenhead that we can go to. There are obviously some concerns in our town about the town centre in particular, and we're aware of those. But we're also aware that the town where we live, or the place where we live, isn't just the built environment, isn't just what's around us, but it's also the people. And we found the people in Maidenhead to be welcoming and friendly. We know that we house a number of refugees, asylum seekers in the town, and they've been welcomed and helped in lots of different ways. But think for a moment what it would be like and how you would feel if you were suddenly removed from the place where you lived, whether it's Maidenhead or elsewhere, and taken away and put in a town of your enemies, whilst the town and the place that you left behind you was destroyed. Imagine how you would feel about that. Because that's where God's people found themselves around about 600 years before Jesus was born. And we read a few words that explained what was happening to them. King Nebuchadnezzar, who was the king of the country of Babylon, had taken the people out of Jerusalem, God's people out of Jerusalem, and removed them to Babylon. And it was a terrible time. He destroyed Jerusalem. He ransacked the temple. He ruined the economy. He removed the leaders and everybody else from the city, and he enslaved the people back in Babylon. And here were God's people languishing in captivity, depressed at their fate, feeling abandoned by God, banished, condemned, and exiled. What do you think? What message do you think God is going to give to his people in that situation? Well, what he actually said to them is this: work for the peace and prosperity of the city where I sent you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, for its welfare will determine your welfare. Can you imagine being given that message if you'd been removed from your town and sent to the town of your enemies? God says, my people should seek the peace and the prosperity of their town wherever they are, whatever circumstances they find themselves in. And the peace and prosperity that he was talking about was a comprehensive one. It was about contentment, wholeness, health, prosperity, the feeling of being safe, of being rested, of living in harmony. In other words, God says, pray for the happiness of your town, that all would be right with the town where you live. And that says something for God's people and for everyone else today. It says that our happiness, Our blessed life and our prosperity must always be reaching out to our community and to the world around us. If we are Christian, if we follow God's ways, then we are commanded to do anything and everything to further the public good for the place where we live and work. And others can join us in that. And so we can be a good neighbour as we're walking around our neighbourhood, or as we're walking around the neighbourhood around this building. We can pick up the rubbish so that we have a good environment to live in. We can clear snow when it comes, okay? Not this week, I suspect, but when it comes. We can plant trees. We can plant flowers. We can help to feed the poor and those in need. We can volunteer. You can volunteer here in this building or elsewhere to help the people who need help in our town. You can be a school governor or any of those kind of positions, community positions where we can help our community. We can just say hello to someone with a smile. I saw something on social media this week about a northerner who went into London and scared the living daylights out of the people who lived in London simply by saying hello to them. It was a bit tongue-in-cheek, but you get the message. We can actually just make people smile and feel a bit better about the place where they live and they work simply by smiling and saying hello to them. We can drive safely. You realise that, don't you? You don't have to drive like a maniac. You can drive safely and keep our community and town safe. You can help people who've broken down on the roadside. And we can embrace all people in our community with the love of Christ. And so if we are Christian, if we are following God, then we should pray for the peace of our town. We should pray that our economy includes justice for the poor and prosperity for everyone in our town. We can pray for safety, that people will be kept safe from harm and from violence on our streets. We can pray that criminals will be transformed by the love of Christ. We can pray for our politics. We can pray that our politicians, our local authority councillors and officers and others will be granted the wisdom that they need to make the decisions that they make about our community. And we can pray for the people of our town. We can pray God's blessing on all of our people, all of our neighbourhoods, our churches, our businesses, our schools, our houses. We can pray for the welfare of our town. And if you're not a Christian, and that's okay, we welcome you. We're really glad that you're here today or that you're joining with us online. Then know that Maidenhead Salvation Army as a church in the town of Maidenhead and with people who are scattered elsewhere around the area during the week are praying for your peace and prosperity. And we're following God's guidance and command in these words to pray for the peace and prosperity of our town. And we pray God's blessing on you. So we're going to sing together another song, again, fairly modern, but it reminds us about our world and of God's care for it and love for it. And so we sing, Lord, for the years your love has kept and guided, urged and inspired us, cheered us on our way, sought us and saved us, pardoned and provided. Lord of the years, we bring our thanks today. Let's stand and we'll sing these verses.
If you would like to subscribe to Battle Ready Sermons wherever you choose to listen to podcasts, or if you'd like to receive them direct to your inbox, head to www.equippinghispeople.com/sermons and follow the instructions.